Hey planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be flipping through my 2020 planner and trying to find some of the good in what was a pretty terrible year. Let's get started. So at the beginning of 2020 I was using a full kit for an entire month in my planner. I'd only started using stickers in my planner from about the middle of 2019, so this was on the ramp up to the heavy sticker use you see today. It's really weird looking back at these pages and seeing me going out to places and having dinner in restaurants and going to the theatre and stuff. I miss that. So the kit I was using for all of January was from K. Elizabeth Plans, and I think it was called Winter Cabin. So this is one of my favourite spreads from January. It's when we went to see the Book of Mormon at the Hippodrome, and we went over to our friend's house and there was loads of us there, and we met her cats as well because they were so cute. And then we flip over to the last week in January and you can see how I used to divide up the months. So it wasn't just the colour would change, I would just completely change the kit in the middle of the week. So moving on to February, and this was actually my first ever kit from Plannerface, and I think it was called Love Spell or something, and it was very witchy and very pink. Oh my god, do you remember when we could go and see live music? That was such a good show. So this spread is where I first had a really full day of stickers on the Saturday, and I really liked how that looked. And then I started trying to include more stickers in all of my spreads and mark in more things like cleaning and dyeing my hair and filling up the space in my planner. And well, you've seen what that's turned into. So again, I just completely changed the kit when the month changes, and I think this was one of the reasons that I wanted to start looking into weekly kits so that it wouldn't be such an obvious break between the months. Anyway, this is another kit from Plannerface. It was called Plant Lady, and this was my first time trying to sticker a spread with 6 weeks in the month, so I pulled in some extra washi from my stash. So this spread is from when we went to the Forest of Dean with some friends for a long weekend, and this was just before everything kind of changed. I think while we were on that trip we were literally thinking, when we get back from here we are not going to see each other for a long time, and then everything shut down and the UK lockdown began and I had a horrendous migraine. So the next spread is my first mini kit from Plannerface, and it was called Lavender, and I thought it would be perfect for the March to April transition so I can move from green into purple. And it was our first virtual D&D session. So for the month of April I was using a kit from K. Elizabeth Plans again, and this was her Cyber Monday kit from the year before, and I thought initially that this would be too sleepy and spacey and at home, but we stayed at home the entire month, so it actually worked out perfectly. So the lockdown Easter was kind of weird, and then in the next week we kept going with things like FaceTime and Google Hangouts and stuff. Obviously we didn't think we'd have to be doing that for this long, but here we are. I really liked how I did my planning time for this week with the deco from the kit and the script. And then the last week of April I was using another Plannerface kit. This one was Cozy Home, and this is when I started my reduced hours at work. Moving on into May, and this is when I used my first monthly kit from Plannerface, and I was so in love with this spread. It was unlike any monthly spread I had made before. And then another favourite spread from the year is definitely this one from May, which was Pastel Peach from Plannerface. This was the week we had a little 2-person cider festival in our garden. This next week was made up entirely of monthly kit leftovers and my stash, and was also when I kind of settled on what to do in my personal and work to-do list sections. Next up was a kit from Strawberry Lime Designs called Milky Way Cafe, and I remember this art was very popular. In the first lockdown I bought from a lot of new shops, so this one is called Bloom and was from Stick It Pretty. Perfect for my mum's birthday week. It's really satisfying when a month starts on a Monday because it means that my weekly spreads are all one colour, but this was my June monthly. It's lovely and sunny and yellow, just like the weather was. So this first weekly spread is Sunny Days from Plannerface, and I really love how this one turned out. The next spread in June was for the Black Lives Matter Planner Challenge, so it's entirely black and white, and I really think this one stands out in my planner, as it should. The next week in June was another Plannerface kit which was called Sunshine, and this was also the week that I should have been seeing My Chemical Romance, but thanks pandemic, so I just made my boyfriend watch the Life on the Murder Scene documentary with me instead. Another sunny kit called Poolside, even though we couldn't go to the pool, but this was the first time in months that we saw some of our friends in person. And then my spread for the June to July changeover, and this was the week that we got our office sorted, and it was the first big bit of DIY that we've done for our new house. Moving on to my July monthly, and this is a kit from Paper Sheet Plans that was actually a June monthly that I bought by accident, but it still works and it goes with my July theme of green. This was when things started opening up again a little bit in the UK, so it was the first time I had a haircut since January, and this kit was Periwinkle from Plannerface. And then I followed that up with Aloha from Plannerface as well, and this is when I just started on Anna's PR team. Next up was a bit of a different spread for me, and this was using Refresh from Paper Sheet Plans, and I used this because the gyms reopened. I had a kit for that, but having multiple different pen colours in the spread was a bit different for me. Moving on to the last week in July, and this was another kit called Aloha, this time from K. Elizabeth Plans. And then we can move on to the most important month of the year, my birthday month. So in August I went back to the Plannerface monthly, and I absolutely love how full this monthly spread is. This was the month that we could actually go and do stuff before cases started rising again. So this was my birthday week using Celebrate from Plannerface, and I loved how this week turned out and also everything that happened in it. It was the first time I'd seen my parents for months. And then my secondary birthday week was using Vampire Summer, also from Plannerface. The next week was using Boho Summer, which was from K. Elizabeth Plans, and this one's so cute. And then my final summary spread for 2020 was using Funfair, also from Plannerface, and this was the last spread that I didn't film. So moving into September, and this was a spread using an Ultimate Planner Cell freebie set from Plannerface, and this week's really special because it is the week that I posted my first video here on YouTube. Moving on to my September monthly, and this is where I started getting a little bit more autumnal and indoorsy after all the fun of the summer. So my first spread in September actually was completely off of my colour coding and was a rainbow date because this was the virtual Pride week in our city. This was my first attempt at a rainbow spread, and also the first time in ages I've been able to go to a conference, albeit virtually. The next spread was a kit from Wendy Prince called Stay Safe, and it was very accurate because although I didn't realise it when I put this spread down, I had to quarantine all week because I thought I might have COVID. Spoiler alert, I didn't, it was fine. Then we move on to the week of the first day of autumn, and I was using a kit from Strawberry Lime Designs called Witch's Brew. And then we have one autumnal spread with this Solitude kit from Plannerface before I go full Halloween. So my October monthly spread I think is my favourite monthly spread of the year, if for no other reason than I cut out all of those people holding pumpkins and it took me so long, but it's so worth it. So my first spooky spread was Creep It Real from Plannerface, and also remember I said that I went to the Forest of Dean with some friends back in March? This was the next time I saw them. My second spooky spread was a kit from Paper Sheet Plans called Spooky Night, and I really like how this one turned out. It's a lot less bright and vibrant than my other spooky spreads, so it provides a nice bit of contrast. The next spread is using Boo from Plannerface, and this one's just 100% Halloween all the way, isn't it? As you can see, my spreads are getting really full now compared to how much I was filling them up at the beginning of the year. My last spooky spread was This Is Halloween, which was from K. Elizabeth Plans. Very Nightmare Before Christmas themed, love it. And then we can move on to my November monthly from Plannerface, where we go nice and frosty for the cold winter. And there's not a lot going on in this spread because we were in lockdown number 2 in the UK. My first spread in November was using the kit Bonfire from Plannerface, and this is another one of my favourite spreads for this year. And then the next spread was using a kit also from Plannerface called Fall Feels, and when I got this kit in a lucky dip I didn't think I would like it, but once I got it down on paper I'm really happy with how this one turned out. It really makes the fact that I spent the entire weekend playing Sims look nice and fancy. This next spread is using Crystal from Strawberry Lime Designs, and yet again another week of lockdown made to look pretty by beautiful artwork. I really feel that by this point in the year I'd totally found my flow with planning for having no plans. For the next week I was using a full kit from Plannerface rather than a mini kit, so I had loads to choose from, and this was Magic, and this was the first little sprinkling of Christmassiness that came into my planner. And then we had my first Christmas spread, which was Holly from Plannerface, and this was so pretty despite the fact that I was really ill for this entire week. Oh, and also we had no heating. That sucked. At this point my planner goes into full-on Christmas mode with this gorgeous December monthly from Plannerface, and it doesn't stop being Christmassy until like New Year's Eve. So for the second week of December I used Christmas Magic, also from Plannerface. My entire December was all Plannerface, sorry other shops. And this was the week that I found out that I was a top-selling Passion Planner ambassador, so again, thank you so much for all of your support this year. The penultimate Christmas spread for this year was a Christmas collab with Kat from Peace Love Plans, and this was Christmas Eve from Plannerface. And then we get to my Christmas week spread, which still has a bit of paper to protect the sides from all of the glitter from the gel pens on it, but I love how this spread turned out. I don't use a lot of foil, but when I do, it makes the spread look really special. So then my final spread of the year was using Better Year from Plannerface, and I used washi blocking to block out all of the days that were in January, and basically had no pre-planning for this week where I wasn't at work for any of the days. So all that's left to do is close the door on 2020 and put this planner in storage. Happy New Year, everyone! So that's everything for this week, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!